Welcome back. We can now move on to the second question. Simplify completely. Part I, 3p squared times 4p to the fifth power. Now it is important to remember, simplification is not the same as solving. When we simplify, we make more complicated expressions shorter. Now this may appear difficult, but it's very simple. We just have to focus on the numbers alone and multiply them. 3 times 4 is 12. Then we focus on the p's and multiply them. The rule is to add the powers, so our answer is 12p to the 7th power. This is the simplified answer because it's shorter than what we started with. Part 2 is an example of why mathematics likes to trick us into believing that it is difficult. Do not let it deceive you. We are just dividing two fractions. Dividing two fractions is the same as multiplying by the right reciprocal. Now we can focus on the numbers and ignore everything else. 3 and 21 share a common factor of 3. So we are going to divide by this common factor. Then 20 and 4 share a common factor of 4. So we're going to divide by this common factor. Now let's focus on the x's. For our variables, this is slightly different. We cancel the one with the lowest power and subtract that power from the other. So now let's look at the y's. Y squared has the lowest power, and so we cancel it. Then we subtract 2 from 3 to give y to the first power, which is y. Now we just multiply what's remaining to get 5 over 7xy. In part B we have solve the following equation. 3 over 7x minus 1 plus 1 over x is equal to 0. Once you see the word solve in algebra, you should always see an equal sign. And your answer should always be x is equal to some number. Don't let the appearance of this fool you. We are just going to add two fractions. However, we can see that the denominators are different, so we need to first find the LCD and convert our fractions to their equivalents. We can get the LCD by multiplying the two denominators. Now here's how we find the equivalent numerator for the first fraction. And here's how we find the equivalent numerator for the second fraction. Now our denominators are the same, so we are just going to add the numerators to get 3x plus 7 minus 1 over x by 7x minus 1 is equal to 0. This can be simplified to be 10x minus 1 over x by 7x minus 1 is equal to 0. Now this may seem a bit complicated, but good news. Since our fraction is equal to 0, we can just ignore the denominator to get 10x minus 1 is equal to 0. Now, as I said previously, since we are solving an equation, our answer must be x is equal to some number. That means that we need to get x by itself, and in order to do so, we have to first get the minus 1 to the other side of the equation. That leaves us with 10x is equal to 1. Now if 10x is equal to 1, that means x must be equal to 1 divided by 10, or 1 over 10. So our answer is x is 1/10.